Welcome to another video of me, despite the fact no one's gonna watch it, making a Little Nightmares theory video, because I need to keep up with my idea of the timeline, so people know what my videos are about. Anyways, unlike my last theory video, which was supposed to be, my final one, this will actually be my final one, and even if my ideas change slightly of the game, I will not be making any updates to this theory. Despite the fact that, remember, no matter what your interpretation of the game is, my videos are pretty much the same. So, also, unlike the last video, this video will have no photos or video screen recordings in it at all, and I apologize for that, because I just want to get this over with. Anyway, so I'm just going to ramble for like 10 minutes about Little Nightmares, and then we'll be done. Okay. So, let's start where we start. In the comics, when Mono sees Six, Mono got his powers from Thin Man, who appeared in the comics as well. And I've already explained previously how I believe that Mono got his powers because Thin Man rubbed off on him. So, Little Nightmares is in fact coming after Little Nightmares 2. But that's not important right now. Mono sees Six, and because he feels bad and thinks that he alerted Six to the hunter, alerted the hunter to Six, whatever, he goes to save her. And that's where Little Nightmares 2 actually starts. Now, I don't believe the time loop theory, but unlike previously, I also don't believe that it's not some form of a time loop. I believe it's a fractured timeline. So, what happens is Little Nightmares 2 plays out like normal. I do not believe that Thin Man is Mono trying to warn Mono, because at the end of the game, when Mono turns into Thin Man is created because of the signal tower. The signal tower could have easily turned Mono into anyone. It's the most powerful being in the universe. Maybe even ever. In any universe, in any iteration of this world. So, by the time Mono has completely transformed into Thin Man, he's just doing what the signal tower wants. So Mono and Thin Man are separate people. And also, Thin Man isn't trapped. A lot of people think he's trapped in that room, but he clearly leaves through the TVs to see and try to capture Six and Mono before Mono frees him. So, he's not trapped. He's just doing what the signal tower wants. So if it's not bait, because I think Mono was always going to go to the signal tower, he had a purpose to do that. If Six isn't bait, then why does this Thin Man take her? If he's not trying to kill Six, because he's not Mono, then what is he doing? Well, I don't have a complete answer for that, but the best answer I know is that he needs to do it for the time loop to continue. For Mono to get to the chair in the eye, he has to go to the signal tower, free Six, and Six has to drop him. Now, if Six was never taken, then the time loop would be messed up. And also, Mono would probably go to the signal tower with Six. And you could argue that maybe Six still would have dropped him, but that's not true. Because if Six was never taken, then her soul wouldn't be ripped out and she wouldn't have hunger, which is why she dropped Mono in the first place. So they do it to keep the loop continuing. Now, I believe that timeline-wise, goes very Little Nightmares, Little Nightmares 2, and then Little Nightmares. The characters in Little Nightmares and in Little Nightmares 2 are, for example, the toddler with the blindfold. I believe that toddler has a blindfold, one of the comic characters, has a blindfold to keep them from seeing the TV. Same with the janitor. I believe that after the janitor dies in Little Nightmares, the next iteration of the loop, fractured timeline, whatever, I'm going to call it a loop to make it more convenient, that child grows up to be the janitor. And even super important characters could have just been, like, viewers, random kids, guests who didn't get chopped up, who didn't die. Just random people could have become the lady, the teacher, the doctor. But there are a lot of comic characters who I think might be those people. But what I'm saying is that it's not like the loop gets reset. Things need to happen in order for the same story to happen over and over again. And also because if it was in fact a loop, and I'm going to call it a loop, but it's not a loop. If it was in fact a loop, if even the slightest different action from 6 mono or even a completely random person would throw off the entire loop and it would be broken. But if it's a fractured timeline, that doesn't matter. So, I have a lot of other things I could say about this series, but other than that, pretty sure I got everything. But here's one question that doesn't sit right with me. Where do the children come from? For a while I thought they were just born like normal children. But that doesn't really make sense. The adults in this world hate kids. But with the theory I believe, all the adults in this world are or were once kids. So, where do they come from? I would like to know your thoughts. Like, where do any of the people in this world come from? Because they were all children at one point, so... Anyways, I just need to really explain the timeline, and other than that, got nothing else to explain. Bye-bye.